85% of everything when it comes to your health is going to be determined by what happens right here. There are hundreds of different diet plans out there, but which is the right one to pick? The one you stick to and that have someone hold you accountable. Everybody's different. There's ectomorphs, mesomorphs, endomorphs, all kinds of different body types. There's different ages. There's different activities. You know, we got to take into account how much activity, but at the end of the day, we have to be in a deficit. And in order to stay in a deficit, it's really hard to stay in a deficit. And you're like, what's a deficit means? That means we have to do more activity than we eat. 2/3 of America is overweight. So obviously something's going on here, and the food pyramid turned to my plate, and my plate is the plan that the government wants us on. And I don't want to get too much into that right now, but I don't think that's really doing America too well, is it? So what I would do 7 days a week, you got me. You got me right in your pocket right here. So what we do is we call you, we do FaceTime, we do in person, and what I do is I like to educate you. I like to educate you on obviously healthy foods, you know, grass-fed, grass-finished meat, because a lot of people don't know about meat. They say grass-fed meat. Do you know what that means? When they say grass-fed meat, it means it's fed grass. That's grass-fed. But they don't tell you the part where they bring it in from pasture to actually have it slaughtered. But before the cow gets slaughtered, they fatten it up with corn. And cows are not made to eat corn. And that's just one little tip there, you know, like the grass-fed, grass-finished meat, just like cage-free eggs. You know, there's different types of terminologies for the chicken and how the chicken's being kept, but it's up to having someone that has the knowledge to be able to navigate all the tricky things that the government's trying to trick us with. So why is America 2/3 overweight? Because we have this thing called insulin resistance. And what insulin resistance is, there's so much processed foods in America that tricks our brain to eat past where we would normally eat to. And that's the ingredients that some of the companies, the manufacturers, place into the foods to trick us. And then after time, what happens, we develop this thing called leptin resistance. And leptin resistance is this hormone in the brain. It's the satiety hormone. And it tells us when we're full. So what happens is in the food, all these artificial ingredients they trick us with is that if we had 5 bites to get us full, next thing you know, 6, 7, 8, we're taking 2 extra 3 bites. And we don't even realize it because they're tricking our brain with the artificial ingredients to have us consume more, and they're getting us addicted. I mean, you've heard this countless times in the cereal aisle in the food store. Right down about this level, where all the children can see, is all the sugar cereals. You know, we're being brainwashed by all the food manufacturers. So what you need is somebody to hold you accountable, somebody that's knowledgeable, somebody that knows about the good foods, knows what to eat, what not to eat, how to eat, when to eat. We have feeding windows, times to eat. You know, I don't know if you knew this, but there's certain types of combinations of food. If I eat this many carbohydrates, but I have this many proteins or this many fats, the combination of those could actually cause you to be storing fat. And you don't even know it. You're working out, say you're going to the gym 3 times a week, and you're doing all this extra cardio as well, but you just can't get the weight off. What happens is you can't get to the fat cell. And that's due to that thing I was speaking about earlier, which was insulin resistance. At the end of the day, what we need to be is in a deficit. That means we need to eat less food than we're burning. So we need to burn, eat less food. This little deficit, what it does, it makes us lose weight, we get healthy. The problem is that our hunger is off the chart because we have this thing called insulin resistance. And what insulin resistant means is that when we're eating the food, when we eat food, simply stated, we have a pancreas, an organ that secretes a hormone called insulin. And what insulin does, it places the food away. It puts it in the places it should go to. Number one, goes into the liver. Then after the liver, it tops off the muscles. And then after it goes into the muscles, and our muscles get their fill, then it goes into the bloodstream and goes into your fat cells. Well, what happens in America, due to the companies tricking everybody with artificial ingredients, it makes us eat past where we should be full. And due to those artificial ingredients, it tricks our brain. In our brain, we have this thing called leptin. And leptin is another hormone. And leptin is a satiety hormone. And it tells us, hey, stop eating. But with those tricky chemicals, it keeps us eating. So we eat past that point. And then when we eat past that point, our pancreas, remember that guy that creates the hormones, insulin, it has to shoot out more insulin. And what happens is it gets tired. And then the body gets resistant to the fat cells become so full that they can't take in any more energy from the energy in the blood. So that now what happens is that sugar floats around in the blood, that blood sugar, it's called glucose. And by the glucose being elevated, and then when it starts dropping, we get addicted to the food. So it causes us to eat more because it thinks we're hungry, because the glucose shouldn't be elevated. When the glucose is elevated, we have a tendency to be a little more hungrier. When the glucose drops, now our body can actually tap into burning the fat stores. 2/3 of us are overweight due to insulin resistance. I want to help you as a team, you and me, to where we can fight and combat that insulin resistance together, but do it in the right way. So you need to eat the right amount of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and fibers for your body type. And you can go online and you can do these calculators all day, but they don't know who you are. I will know your body type, how old you are, I will know your activity, I will know what you want, what your goals are, what your individual goals are. I will set up a plan to where I can help get you to where you want to get to. And we have a lot of folks later in life. I have an 82-year-old lady named Jan, and she is killing it. She's doing our nutrition program, and she's doing our personal training program as well. When you combine the personal training with nutrition, bam, it's synergistic. So later on in life, it's about 85% nutrition, and it becomes 15% working out. But without that working out component, you cannot create the synergy of these two things working together. So remember, 85% of the gains are made right here in the kitchen. And as long as we learn how to navigate it, because there's so many different plans, and what is the plan that works? The plan that works is the one that you're consistent with and the one that you stick to. And that's the plan, that's the one you need to do. And whatever one that you like, that you want to stick to, I will help you find that plan. And then guess what? I will hold you accountable to it. And that means 7 days a week. I'm your guy. I'll be right in your pocket. You can call, you can text, and we can communicate. And next thing you know, I get you on your journey. Before you know it, you're like, wow, I never thought I could ever get that body that I wanted. I'm 54 years old, and I'm about 180 pounds at about probably 8%, 9% body fat. Guess what one of the biggest problems I have today is? Eating. I have to actually sometimes make myself to eat. So doesn't that sound crazy? And another thing I promise you that I can help you with is to not crave carbohydrates. My coach, he's almost 80 years old, and he told me that about 10 years ago, and I didn't believe him. So if you want to be a part of that plan where you don't have to crave foods, where you have that control, you have the control, where you can control the appetite, next thing you know, you start getting tight, and from doing it right, man, that is the next level. And I would love to have you come be a part of my nutrition program. I would love to help navigate this journey with you. If you have any questions, please place them in the comments below. I'll answer them for you, get in touch with you. And hit that subscribe button, because I'm gonna give you tips and tricks on this channel. I'm gonna give you free tips and tricks, but at the same time, you know what I want you to do. I would love to have you come on board so I can help you know how to do what you need to do. Thank you for taking the time listening. Take care. Peace.